What's up, everyone? This is the Chicago Sports Talk Michael. Back at it with another video. It's time to have a little bit of fun before. Was thinking about having a little fun before I hit the training camp news. I didn't know if I want to give this reporter any attention. Colin Cowherd. If you don't know you should know who he is. He is a analyst like Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith. Basically, he hosts his show called The Herd, basically giving his, thoughts. He's kind of a flip-flopper. You can even make the case that he's even more biased. He's more delusional than Skip Bayless. I don't know if you can make that argument, but I want to react to this video where he predicted that the Bears would be fourth and be last in their division. And I'm going to react to where he, quote unquote, changes his mind and says that the Bears are playoff contenders. So I want to, before we dive into it and get your popcorn ready, I want to remind everybody to hit the subscribe button and leave a like and hit the notifications for, to keep up. It's going to be a lot of news, but let's react to this video.
I'm going to go Detroit, Minnesota, our playoff teams. I think losing Dalvin Cook is something for Minnesota, and I don't think they'll win all those one-score games. Last year,
Actually, losing Dalvin Cook is a lot for the Vikings. The Vikings, literally, their best player besides Justin Jefferson is Dalvin Cook.
Believe they were 11-0 in those. I'm buying Detroit, but I'm buying Detroit to win 10 games, not like 13. People are going crazy on them. It's still Detroit.
And you don't think having the Lions winning 10 games is also crazy in your book, Colin? I mean, Detroit, you saying that, these people are saying that Detroit's winning 13 games. Like, who's saying that Detroit's winning 13 games? Even a dumb Lions fan like Don Burr would probably tell you that the Lions are now winning 13 games or 10. Well, I don't know if he says that, but I don't think that the Lions are winning 10 games, bro.
But they become a playoff team. Packers slide back to about a 7-win team. Bears 6-7, whatevs. NFC South, this is the hardest one.
So, apparently, he said that the Packers are still going to be good. So let's go to his other podcast where he said that he says he's confident that the Bears are playoff contenders. So
the O-line is not a disaster. They've hit on a couple of the young ones. The tight end group, wide receiver group now, 4 really good players. I won't count Chase Claypool. Mooney, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Robert Tonyan, very productive, good players. No more excuses. Backs are more than serviceable. But here's the tricky part. And I watched this with Cam Newton a little bit, is that Cam was a highlight guy and a YouTube guy, but struggled on basic stuff. And it's easy. The fans and the media fall for sensational. And what it becomes is like a bad action movie, 2 hours, 3 really good scenes surrounded by crap. Nothing against Cam. Cam could not complete enough passes. Never.
I don't know if you ever watched Cam Newton in his prime. I'm pretty sure a majority of us did, because Cam Newton made football fun to watch because I grew up with Cam Newton in his prime, grew up with Tom Brady, grew up with Peyton Manning, grew up with the Mannings, Cam Newton was on a horrible Panthers team. And the reason why he never had a back-to-back season was because he had a horrible head coach.
Never had back-to-back winning seasons. But people fell for the spectacular. And let me give you 3 quarterbacks who had a lot of spectacular and struggled completing passes and all turned the corner. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Lamar Jackson. They were highlight quarterbacks, YouTube guys. And then
You notice how he's contradicting himself, YouTube guys? Like, Colin, if you're gonna call these people like any insults, can you just come up with a better phrase than just YouTube guys?
By year 2, year 3, they became accurate throwers of the football. Cam never did. Cam never did.
Also, Cam, also, you're saying that did he say that he said that Jalen Hurts, besides Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert has yet to make it to a Super Bowl. So we can't say that Justin Herbert is better than Cam Newton in his prime.
Go look, 57, 58, 59. It matters. And by the way, Jalen Hurts.
Also, you're forgetting that Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, and also Justin Herbert were on better teams. What did the Panthers have? Like Ted Ginn, Jericho Sims. Who else? The only decent receiver that Cam ever had was, I think, Steve Smith, Greg Olsen.
Does not sacrifice any of the spectacular. Either does Lamar, and either does Josh. But if you go back and look at,
I know Lamar didn't have a great top like 5 receiving core in the league, but Lamar Jackson has had a great offensive line too. Forgot to say it.
Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen, by the way, in his last 3 years, completes 65% of his passes. That's the league average. Jalen Hurts, 66.5%, above the league average. Again, when you're spectacular athletically, Josh Allen, Hurts, Lamar, I'm not asking you to complete 69%. You got to get to the league average. Average. And then if you can add the spectacular, then you're a star franchise guy. Lamar Jackson was a highlight guy. Year 1, 58%. Last 4 years.
Actually, Lamar Jackson had a, I wouldn't say he had a great rookie season. He had a somewhat decent. Got his team to the playoffs and lost in the first round. So
64% and spectacular. So I think Justin Fields very interesting. We got 2 years. I watch guys with worse O-lines perform at a higher level. Luke Getsy, more than capable as an OC. 2 very productive tight ends now. DJ Moore, Mooney, nice wide receiver tandem. I won't count the inconsistent and possibly regressing Chase Claypool. Won't even count.
You see how he contradicts himself after saying that the Bears would be last in their division? Colin, did you forget that? I think this podcast was like 3 weeks 3 weeks, like the podcast where he said that the Bears would be last was like 3 weeks ago, and this just came like recent. Colin, if the Bears were to be in last place of the division, they're not making the playoffs. But in this video or in this podcast, you said that the Bears are a playoff team, which you are 100% right on. I think the Bears are a playoff team. But like I said, you contradict yourself. That's the problem with you, Colin. You contradict yourself.
Count him, though I think he's a capable 3. Big, strong, capable 3 out of Notre Dame. But it's the league average is 65%. Right now, Justin Fields is not close. And by the way, I'm not against spectacular athlete guy. Josh Allen, Jalen, Lamar, they've all become excellent franchise guys, all top 6 or 7 in the league. But they moved from spectacular to also league average, just getting the ball completed.
You notice how he says that the reason why they were to be that phrase that you just said was because they had a better supporting cast around them. And also, say what you want about Lamar Jackson, he had a good offensive line, and he also had Hollywood Brown. And what happened after Hollywood Brown left? His injuries. Like the Ravens had like so many injured players. It's not even funny, bro. The wide receiving core is still horrible. I mean, depending how old Dell is.
That ends up being about 6 passes that hit the grass, hit the dirt. You gotta, no more excuses. So I'm very interested.
No more. Well, I agree with there is no more excuses because Justin Fields has talent right now. And then last year, his weapons were Darnell Mooney. You can count Chase Claypool but if Chase Claypool like came in uh during the season because when we traded for him, his receivers were Dante Pettis, Equinemius St. Brown, uh uh N'Keal Harry, Brian Pringle, Cole Kmet. The only person that ever stood healthy on the Bears was Cole Kmet. And we didn't have a solid number tight end too. Our finger solid tight end. Our majority of Bears fans probably don't know this, but our number 2 tight end was Ryan Griffin.
Minnesota shouldn't be as good. Green Bay.
Didn't you just say that Minnesota was gonna be good on your last pod? Like I said, contradicting yourself as always.
It won't be as good. Detroit will be better. This should be a playoff team. They are more than capable. Yes, the defense isn't great. Not a lot of great defenses in the NFL. San Francisco's is, and the Chiefs and the Eagles could go up and down the field on it. I mean, in the end, got to win on the offensive side of the ball. You don't, hey, Buffalo's had a great defense. They're regressing. Kansas City played 9 rookies. They won the Super Bowl. All right, so sometimes it looks like something's happening. I don't know it to be true, and I didn't get a call back when I called a source yesterday. But you ever see something and you're kind of suspicious, a little deftly, wonderfully?
Yeah, so yeah, I think that's the rest of the video. I don't even know why it had to be ended right there, even though it's a 10-minute video. So let's go to Colin Cowherd for a moment. Look, with that video that you just saw, I agree with what he said. I only agree with Justin has no more excuses. But the point being is where I kind of lose brain cells at the same time is because he just flip flops. You see how he flip flopped on the Bears being last in their division, and now he's saying that the Bears are a playoff team. Like, and people's and like I remember the Windy City, and I also did a video on this. If you can go back and look at that, because Colin was a big part of was breaking down the Justin Fields was horrible. The Bears should consider trading Justin Fields and taking Bryce Young. No disrespect, but Colin Cowherd, like he just flip flops every time, bro. This is the same dude. Like seeing his mental retardation is actually making me dumb. So the only way you can ever get Colin to ever be on your side is you be with his daughter, because that's what Trey Lance did until they broke up. Now Trey Lance is horrible, but it's just like Colin. People be like, "Oh, why do you listen to him? Why do you listen to him?" Because he's funny to laugh at. That's why. It's just like sometimes he makes a good point, sometimes, but majority of the times he's dumb. Like, he can't talk football. and this is an example why there's geeks that are online saying, "Oh, why could the Bears statistically go 3-14, go have a good season after going 3-14?" The difference between them and Colin Cowherd is the geeks all will stand by their opinions. Colin Cowherd will literally flip flop on his opinions. This is the same dude that said that the Bears offense was ranked 14th in the National Football League. If the offensive line was spectacular, not saying spectacular, not as bad as you think, Colin, then why did they give up the most sacks, tied with the Denver Broncos in the National Football League? Only a bad offensive line can do that. Also, you bring up Justin, not Justin. You bring up Justin Herbert, you bring up Josh Allen, you bring up Lamar Jackson. How they improved. Listen, Lamar Jackson improved because he had a better offensive line and he had uh, a somewhat above to average receiving core. He had Hollywood Brown for the majority of his time. Justin Herbert, he had Keenan Allen, he had Mike Daniels. Like, also he mentions Josh Allen. Okay, Josh Allen had Stephon Diggs. He had a good offensive line. He has Gabriel Davis, solid number 2. Like, and also Jalen Hurts. I mean, he has AJ Brown. He has Devontae Smith. He has a offensive line. Who's their tight end? Like, oh, I think is there a tight end like Dallas Goddard or whatever? Or I don't know who the Eagles tight end is, but someone can probably remind me if I'm right or I'm wrong. But he's pretty solid. But Colin, you contradicted yourself. You went from the Bears being last in their division to now that they're a playoff team. Colin, I would agree with, like, here's the thing. I'm not disagreeing with Colin, but the problem I have with Colin is that he flip flop. Like, dude, did you forget? Did you forget? When you say a prediction, you stand by that shit. But I won't that's it. That's all for today's video. Hit the subscribe button, leave a like, hit the notification. As always, bear down.